All right, so greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time browsing through, we have a segment we like to do here. It's insider casino information. It's chatter from the inside, the back end, the higher ups, the executive side of the casinos. We get them directly from our insider that we have here at the channel. And all throughout COVID, like when the casinos were shut down, man, time after time after time, good information. Some of this stuff comes to pass. Some of this stuff doesn't come to pass. It's just inside chatter. We're going to talk about the casino industry, whether or not they're going to be issuing new licenses for people. We're going to talk about hotel workers being upset with the conditions at the hotels and not being able to keep up, and properties, basically getting lawsuits over resort fees, and casinos offering free stays to certain people that work in the public sector. And why are home prices so expensive? We have a crazy theory on this one as well. So these are not all correct. These are just what's been said. And some things are going to come to pass and some things aren't. But let's talk about them because they're extremely interesting. And I think you're really going to like this video. My name is Steven, by the way, and I'm not leaving Las Vegas. I'm a Vegas blogger. Hope you guys would stick around by hitting the subscribe button, throwing us a thumbs up, and leaving us a comment and telling us, do you think the resort fees are here to stay forever? Funny side note, funny side note, in downtown LA, it's $43 to $55 mandatory valet parking if you want to park your car at most hotels. Casinos out here have the resort fee. They have a parking fee for valet. You can't get around it. So every hotel has a fee, I guess. We just learn to pay them and we factor it into the price and we move on. At least in Vegas, you can gamble that fee away, I suppose, if you want to do it that way. So leave us that comment below. We have to thank, in this little segment of this video, our channel sponsors. We have two of them. One hits closer to home than the other, but both have a connection to me. The first channel sponsor is P9 Magazine. Now, P9 Magazine and its affiliates are actually cryptocurrencies, and they're traded on the Ethereum blockchain, and they're also Ethereum 2.0 validators. And their aim in their existence is to showcase the global Pinay. Pinay means women of Filipino origin, and the first issue is going to feature Filipinas from North America, with further issues featuring Pinays from UK, Europe, Australia, New Zealand, Asia, the GCC, and of course the Philippines. And they buy the side of Resorts World every single month. That's the Vegas tie-in right there. They rent that huge billboard space out in the digital billboard to showcase their ladies, and they're really awesome. So click on the first link in this comment of this video and check them out over on Instagram. Tell them that I sent you. We also have, of course, speaking of beautiful Pinays, we have VegasFaceMask.com, made by my wife, Sweet Caroline. These are 2 for $25. If you got to wear them at Christmas, wear something festive. And we have VegasFaceMask.com, no S at the end. Goes around the back of my head and not my ears. No nose wire, handmade from the time that Caroline cuts a piece of fabric from scratch to the time that she packs them all up and I drop them off to the post office. VegasFaceMask.com, no S at the end. All right, so we have a few different items on here. Casino industries items to start with. The casino industry is apparently against issuing new licenses right now. They want to let the people that are already players in the game in Vegas fix and right the ship. And there's a lot of things that they can't change right now. And I feel like bad for the industry in a way. They must have their back up against the wall. You know, for example, if somebody's not playing poker in Vegas because they have to wear a mask, there's nothing that they can do about that. Those are the governor's rules, and Governor Sisolak needs to change those rules. Thankfully, casino corporations like to give big donations to governors, so who knows what happens with that. I'm not saying it happens, but you know what happens, right? That's how it works. Maybe they give some big donations to him and for his upcoming gubernatorial campaign where he's fighting to retain his seat as the governor. Who knows? But yeah, apparently they want to make sure that people who are already here and know the market are able to help fix the market. And that might mean that we might have less licenses being granted to outsiders. And it's hard to get a license in Nevada. I mean, it should be hard. It's a big, giant cash type business, so it should be difficult. But that could mean that we don't see anybody coming in and buying the Bally's anytime soon, because I was convinced that the Hard Rock people would probably come in and buy that property in the next year. But we'll have to wait and see how it goes. The second point of order, something that we also heard about over the last weekend over on Twitter, hotel workers being pretty upset over the lack of staff across the industry, not being able to keep up cleaning rooms. It was doubly difficult last weekend because we had the EDC. And I mean, look, when I was a younger person, I was less respectful of the room too. So they said that these people were sleeping 10 to a room in some cases, getting away with it. And the workers were just completely overwhelmed and understaffed. So as a result, I would say tip your they used to call them chambermaids, maids, but I guess that's probably the wrong term for it these days. Tip the person who cleans your room. They have a hard job ahead of themselves. But next up, casino lawsuits over resort fees. This is a big one. And this one here, we missed something on this, but way back in March, there was actually a lawsuit levied against the MGM Resorts International Group about their resort fees. Now, I don't have to go over what they are, but if you don't know what they are, because maybe you're planning your first ever vacation, it's a fee that you have to pay after the fact. So if the travel website says that with tax inclusive, your trip is $150 on the button, like I don't know how that's possible, then there's most likely going to be anywhere between a $15 to a $50 fee collected after the fact by the property. This is supposed to go to cover Wi-Fi, swimming pools, gyms, fitness facilities, towel service to your room, whatever. People don't like paying them. You can get out of them paying them by gambling. But, if there's lawsuits against this stuff, and there's already a lawsuit against the Marriott Group out of Washington, D.C., where the state attorney general is suing them, then there's hope that maybe we have some better transparency and pricing coming up in the next little while. But then again, it's so tough. As long as we pay the fees, people will pay the fees. The hotels will charge the fees. Next up on the list is something that I can't verify, but casinos apparently giving free stays to law enforcement in some cases just to have them on the property, whether or not they're on a staycation and they're locals, or whether or not that they're from some other jurisdiction, giving law enforcement free hotel stays to know that they're spending time on property and making the place a little bit safer. I don't know if you've ever met any Leos in real life, law enforcement officers, but I know law enforcement officers in the past, and they say that going to the mall is like a thing for them because as a police officer, they're constantly scanning the crowd all the time. And that's what they do. So they say that, basically they're always on duty, even when they're not on duty. So I think that's a cool idea if that's really happening. I think it's an amazing idea to do it. Put the law enforcement officers in the rooms for free. But why do we stop there? Why don't we just seriously give it to firefighters too? I mean, they really did a good job for us last year. And if you give them a free room and charge them a resort fee, I guess, then guess what? At least they're getting a cheap room. And, maybe don't give it away for free because everybody should be making money at some point. But yeah, I think it's great to take care of them, first responders, EMTs. But then you got to wonder, it's a slippery slope. Where does it stop? We got the nurses. We got the people that are, working at the gas station going, hey, I had to work during COVID. But, that's an idea. That's a decent idea. Free stays for police officers at properties. Last one is speculative, but home prices are increasing in Vegas because of an influx of people working at Nellis Air Force Base. And this extrapolates to the idea that there's some big stuff brewing at Nellis Air Force Base, also known as Area 51. I know we're getting way off into the extraterrestrial zone right now, but I've heard this from other people too. I've heard for a while now that there's some big stuff brewing at Nellis and that they're just not telling us what's out there. The truth is out there. Right? Yeah. Play the X-Files music, but I'll get a copyright strike. But that would be an interesting idea because you never know what's going on over at Groom Lake and Nellis Air Force Base. And more often, I do see the Janet planes coming in. If you don't know what those are, it's a plane with a single red tail on it, tail fin on it. And it goes into this other terminal called the Janet Terminal, which has a technical name, but some people call it for short, just another non-existent terminal. It's a special terminal that if you get too close to it, you're going to be arrested. And it brings people to Groom Lake, which is the deepest part of Area 51, where they say that all those crazy extraterrestrial things happened. But if Nellis was having an influx of people coming in and they were all like private contractors making $150,000 a year, that would lead to some of the home price increases. But it would also lead to the home and price increases in the north part of Las Vegas, most likely. And I don't see that that's happening. So that's an interesting take on it. And I could see it happening. I could see a military buildup. Look at trickle-down economics. And that's a big thing that one of the two political parties likes to do out here. But those are some big-time things in the casino industry buzz. I want to get your opinion on them. So if you heard something that piqued your interest, make sure to leave us a comment below. Once again, my name is Steven, and I'm not leaving Las Vegas. I'm a Vegas blogger. Check out the Patreon later on today to get that Elvis Haunted video, and you'll see that on YouTube later on. For free, of course. Check out our channel sponsor, P9 Magazine and VegasFaceMask.com. And now's the time of the video where I say 3, 2, 1, click. Are you ready? Thanks for watching. You're the best part of my day. 3, 2, 1, and click!